Hello, dear listeners. Welcome to another episode of our English Learning Podcast. I'm Linda.
And I'm Leo. We are so happy to have you here today. In this podcast, we're going to talk about something we all do every day, describing people.
That's right, Leo. Describing a person is a very useful skill, especially if you're learning English. You might need to describe someone in different situations, like when you're introducing a friend, describing a colleague, or just talking about someone you met.
Yes, and this skill is not just for speaking. It helps with writing too. Imagine writing a story or sending a message to someone. You'll need to know how to describe people clearly so others can understand what you mean.
So let's start with the basics. When you describe a person, you can talk about their appearance and their personality. Appearance is what we see: their height, hair color, eye color, and so on. Personality is what we feel or know about the person. Are they kind, funny, serious, or helpful?
Exactly. Let's begin with appearance. How do we describe how someone looks? One of the first things we notice about a person is their height. Is the person tall, short, or maybe somewhere in between? For example, you can say, "She is tall," or "he is of medium height."
Yes, and don't forget about body type. People come in all shapes and sizes. You might describe someone as thin, athletic, or even a little chubby. But remember to be kind when describing people. Words can have a big impact.
Absolutely, Linda. Now let's talk about the face. The face is where we notice many details. You can describe someone's eyes, nose, mouth, or ears. For example, if someone has blue eyes, you can say he has blue eyes. Or if they have a big smile, you can say she has a big smile.
And don't forget hair. Hair can be straight, curly, long, short, blonde, brown, black, or even colorful. You can say she has long, curly hair, or he has short, black hair.
And what about age? When describing a person, you can also talk about how old they are. You don't have to give an exact number. You can use words like young, middle-aged, or elderly. For example, she is a young woman or he is an elderly man.
That's a good point, Leo. Describing someone's clothing is also important. Clothes can tell us a lot about a person. You might say, "She is wearing a red dress," or "he is dressed in jeans and a t-shirt." It gives more detail to the description.
Now that we've covered appearance, let's talk a little about personality. This is what makes each person special. When you describe personality, you're talking about how someone acts or feels. For example, if someone is always smiling and happy, you might say, "She is cheerful," or "she has a positive attitude."
Yes, and if someone likes helping others, you can say, "He is helpful," or "She is caring." If they are always thinking of new ideas, you might describe them as creative or imaginative.
On the other hand, some people might be serious or quiet. They might not talk a lot, but they listen carefully. You could describe them as thoughtful or reserved.
Another great word is friendly. This is for someone who is easy to talk to and makes others feel comfortable. You can say, "She is friendly," or "he has a warm personality."
Yes, and don't forget about describing someone's habits. For example, if someone is always on time, you can say he is punctual. Or if they love reading books, you can say she is a bookworm.
So, as you can see, describing people is all about paying attention to details. You can mix and match appearance and personality words to give a clear picture of the person you're talking about.
That's right, Linda, and practice makes perfect. The more you practice describing people, the easier it will become.
And here's a little task for you. Think about someone you know and try to describe them using the words we talked about today. Talk about their height, hair, eyes, and personality. You'll see how much detail you can include.
Yes, and we'll dive even deeper into describing people with more examples and tips to help you get better.
Okay, and we talked about appearance and personality. But what if you want to describe someone more specifically? For example, what if you need to describe someone's actions, habits, or the way they make you feel? Let's start with actions.
Okay, Actions tell us a lot about a person's personality too. If someone is always helping others, you can say she is generous or he is supportive. But if someone prefers to work alone, you might say he is independent or she is self-reliant.
And let's not forget about habits. Habits are things that people do often, almost without thinking. For example, if someone always makes their bed in the morning, you can say she is organized. Or if they love exercising every day, you can say he is health conscious.
Right, describing habits can also include hobbies or things people enjoy. If someone loves to paint, you might say she is artistic. Or if someone loves to cook, you can say he is a good cook or she is passionate about food.
Another great habit-related word is dedicated. This is for someone who works very hard at something and doesn't give up easily. For example, she is dedicated to her studies or he is dedicated to his job. It shows that the person puts in a lot of effort.
And sometimes people's habits can be unusual or unique. If someone has a habit that makes them stand out, you can say he is quirky or she has an interesting way of doing things. This can make a description more colorful and fun.
That's a good point, Leo. Now, let's talk about how someone makes you feel. This is important when describing a person because people can have a big impact on our emotions. For example, if someone always makes you feel happy, you can say she is uplifting or he brings a lot of joy.
Yes, and if someone makes you feel calm and relaxed, you might say she is soothing or he has a calming presence. Describing how people make us feel adds another layer to your description.
And let's not forget about the opposite. If someone makes you feel stressed or nervous, you can say he is intense or she can be overwhelming. But remember to be respectful when describing others. It's always better to be kind, even when talking about negative traits.
Exactly, Linda. Being kind is key, especially when describing personality or emotions. Now, let's talk about some more advanced words you can use to describe people. These words might be new to some of you, but they can really help make your descriptions more interesting.
One great word is charismatic. If someone is very charming and people love being around them, you can say he is charismatic. It means they have a special energy that attracts others.
Another good word is optimistic. This is for someone who always sees the bright side of things, even when things are difficult. You can say she is optimistic or he has a positive outlook on life.
Yes, and if someone is very smart and learns quickly, you can describe them as intelligent or quick-witted. These words show that the person is very sharp and can think fast.
On the other hand, if someone is good at making decisions and solving problems, you might call them practical or resourceful. This means they know how to handle things and find solutions.
And don't forget about describing people's emotions. If someone is always smiling and laughing, you can say she is joyful or he is full of energy. But if someone is often quiet and thoughtful, you might describe them as introspective or thoughtful.
That's a great point, Linda. Emotions play a big role in how we see and describe people. For example, if someone is very sensitive and feels emotions deeply, you can say he is sensitive or she is emotional. This shows that the person is in touch with their feelings.
And if someone is very strong emotionally and doesn't get upset easily, you can say she is resilient or he has a strong spirit. This describes someone who can handle challenges well.
So, as you can see, there are many ways to describe people beyond just their appearance. You can talk about their habits, their emotions, their impact on others, and much more. The more details you include, the clearer your description will be.
Yeah, and we've covered a lot of new words and ideas. We talked about describing people's actions, habits, how they make you feel, and even more advanced personality words like charismatic, optimistic, and resilient.
That's right, Linda, and we hope you've learned something new today. Describing people is all about noticing the little details and using the right words to paint a picture in someone's mind.
So here's another challenge for you. Pick someone in your life. It could be a friend, a family member, or even a celebrity, and try to describe them using as many details as you can. Think about their appearance, personality, habits, and how they make you feel. The more you practice, the better you'll get.
Yes, and remember, it's okay to make mistakes. Learning a language is all about practice, and the more you describe people, the easier it will become. Don't be afraid to try new words and expressions.
Thanks so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Keep practicing, and don't forget to describe the people around you as a way to improve your English skills.
Take care and keep up the great work.
Bye for now, and happy learning!